The apartment was big and soulless as an operating theatre. The walls, furniture and carpets were all white, as if the designer had been a graduate of Antarctica Tech. The paintings on the walls offered splashes of colour, but they were so abstract as to suggest burst blood vessels in the eyes of anyone looking at them. There were computers and phones in every room, including the bathrooms, as if the owner must always be available, even during ablutions or bowel movements. It was postmodern. Errol McGee had no soul, or if he had, it had never bothered him. He'd been educated at a private school where brutality by prefects had been considered part of social education, and sodomy looked upon as a minor aberration of sexual education. He'd been a brilliant student at school and university. His only blemish as an Australian, his total lack of interest in sport. An only child, he'd lost his parents during his first year at university. Paid-up Australians both, dismayed by his lack of interest in sport, they'd taken up bungee jumping in the hope of inspiring him into some excitement. Unfortunately, during a double act in New Zealand, their rope had broken, and they'd plunged to their death in a splash that was like an explosion of their hopes. Errol had been dismayed by their death and its manner, but after 6 months he was over his grief and not looking back. That was 10 years ago. Now he was trying on his girlfriend's new Versace dress and jacket. The dark blue silk went with his eyes, which were his most distinctive feature. He was good-looking in an unremarkable way. His look sort of crept up on an observer. He was short and slim, and the outfit, though a little tight, fitted well. Kylie was much the same build as himself, though with more on the upper deck, and he always liked the outfits she bought with his money. He undid his ponytail and let his blonde hair fall loose. He looked at himself in the full-length mirror. Not bad, though the dress and jacket would have looked better worn with something else but his black Reeboks. Kylie's shoes were too small for him, and, anyway, he felt awkward in high heels, tottering around like a drunken drag queen. He was not a drag queen, nor even a drag commoner. He was not gay nor bisexual, nor perverted. He just liked dressing up. Which was one reason why he'd never liked rugby at school, though today's one-day cricketers in their fancy pyjamas would have welcomed him. He'd never told Kylie that he liked dressing up in her clothes. Everyone, he'd read on the internet, had his or her idiosyncrasies.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.